So, Michelle, customer behavior has definitely shifted, particularly in terms of how people are consuming content. It's different formats, it's across different devices. What kind of challenge does that present to you as a media owner?
Yeah. So I think it's consumption has shifted across all different endpoints, and there's been a lot of change in how people buy media and think about buying media. But one of the big challenges is that the systems that we utilize to transact that media are still separate, even though viewership is almost, there is no such thing as, oh, I'm watching TV versus CTV. Everything's on a screen, but the way that you serve those ads is very different. So making sure that you're reaching those consumers wherever they're viewing that content is very important. And having systems that allow you to buy and transact in that way is also increasingly important as viewership trends have shifted.
Why do you think it's been so difficult to kind of streamline the digital and linear workflows? What are some of those sticking points?
Well, that's a very good question. I think that, there has been legacy systems that have been in place for a really, really long time, like how you traffic linear commercials versus how you traffic digital commercials are all very, very different. And there's legacy systems that have existed forever, and trying to switch off of a linear system or off of a digital system to a convergent system is a very, very big lift. And those convergent systems are now just emerging in the marketplace. So I think everybody's still trying to figure out what is the right way to approach that convergent activation, planning, trafficking, invoicing process. And it's really complex and difficult, and people are starting to make progress in that space. But it's really hard. And I think, we think back to when, for our advanced advertising deals that we run as convergent deals across all broadcast, cable, digital, addressable, we had to kind of connect our systems and our processes to a lot of different systems to make it all work. So it's a challenge, and I think that there's a lot of great movement in the space, but it's going to take some time to get there.
That seems to me kind of a segue into one of the buzzwords that I think we've heard over the past couple of months, and that's interoperability, making sure that you, as you said, planning, buying, trafficking, all of these systems can sort of work together. What does sort of the Paramount Advanced Advertising team look for in terms of interoperability?
Oh yeah. So it's very important to be able to have interoperability is such a buzzword these days, but it's a really important thing to make sure that what we're doing on our side, on the publisher side, connects with what the buy side is doing, and that all of the systems that speak to each other allow for that interoperability and automated and scalable transactions. And I think that is the piece that we need to move to. There's a lot of cobbling things together from the linear side, from the digital side, from the addressable side to make it all work together. And I think it's really important to move to that space where everything is more automated and seamless, so that people can buy and transact on media the way that people are consuming media.
The one sort of maybe one final question is, because you also brought up the buy side, and you as the media owner, media seller, you have sort of goals and KPIs and things that you are looking for. But one of the other sort of trends that we're starting to see is this focus on buying based on outcomes. How does that affect you as a media seller, and does that affect the platforms that you need to use?
So I think the concept about buying on outcomes is, I guess, it's a little bit different depending upon which platform that you're transacting that on, right? When you do it on, you see an ad when you're scrolling through your social media, you click on it, you buy something, it's immediate, you can count it. When you're sitting down to watch television and then attributing that viewership to an individual outcome, and then you can do that, and there's great measurement companies out there that are doing that work. My difficulty is, how do you guarantee on that? There's a difference of, using it as a KPI and something that you integrate into a media plan as a media metric. So on our advanced advertising deals, we're doing that all the time. We're looking at conversion metrics and layering that in along with reach, efficiency, other media metrics that are also very important to get to a place where you have a holistic media plan that delivers on various KPIs, conversion outcomes being one of them. But when you get to a place where people want to start guaranteeing on an outcome, there's so many factors in that. We had one client that asked us to, was very, very adamant about guaranteeing on outcomes in the 1920 upfront. What would that have looked like when COVID hit and things that are out of your control then require a guarantee against it? So I think there's a difference, similar to the difference of currency and measurement. There's a difference of using conversion or attribution data as an input that you're optimizing against, but the guarantee and the currency structure, how I look at it, needs to continue to be impressions that you're transacting against and using that as an input and insight to make that plan most effective for our clients.
Michele, I think the last question I would have for you is, given that your purview is sort of advanced advertising, do you feel like advanced advertising is an accurate description now? Are we at a place where it is advanced and can we go further?
I think we're at a place where advanced advertising, when it began, when Vantage began all those years ago, was anything that was not a general demographic, right? Anything that was beyond a broad age sex demographic was how we thought about advanced advertising. I think advanced advertising is still that. It is still transacting against a specific audience. Within our space, though, I think we're also thinking about it as really the innovation that's happening in advertising and how we're moving beyond traditional transactional structures to more advanced capabilities. I think of some of these convergent activations as advancements in what we're doing. So I think that the term is definitely evolving as well, but it's beyond that general way of transacting media and expanding to advanced audiences. Convergent activation, things like that are kind of taking a change in how we're doing everything.